Grocery shopping. Fun times. I gotta start buying stuff for myself so that I can force myself to stop eating out all the time, which builds up. One of the things you don't think about before you're living on your own is that you gotta do everything by yourself. Along dealing with some very interesting people, I will tell you a story. I was at the grocery store, and it must have been charity day today, because I was in line having my groceries being rung up by the cashier, and then as soon as he was done with my order, he began to scan the other guy's order with mine. So I had to quickly grab those and look at the guy and let him know, yes, I do exist. No, I don't want to pay for your groceries. And then he all of a sudden just woke up from wherever he was. Oh, sorry. Like he didn't know it was happening. Yes, he did. So this is real life. I'm a creative person for sure, but not when it comes to food. Like, I'll cook, but only if it's simple. I would love to hit the fast food circle every night, but my wallet would say otherwise. But when I do, I pop through to Macca's the most, because it's my first choice. Tastes good, it's affordable, it's America's restaurant. If you can't beat them, then you should join them. And then I would say Wendy's would be next. If I'm starving, I'll get a Dave's Double. Triple if I'm feeling lucky. Then there's Pan Express, Burger King, Carl's Jr., Subway, Arby's, and Taco Bell for sure. But I can't eat that much anymore. It almost killed me the other night. You know, I was on this date once. Well, it wasn't a date. To me. I was at dinner with a friend. And we were talking about all the stuff we wanted to do after high school. You know, the colleges you want to attend, the jobs you want to get. The basic stuff you talk about as you're approaching graduation. But as the night concluded, she did in fact remind me that this was a date, because once I dropped her off and I said goodnight, she got mad at me at the fact that I didn't text her back saying what a wonderful time I had, as if my behavior didn't express that at the actual dinner. So she told me she was mad, and she also showed me she was mad. What I learned that night is that you should be clear to the other party as to what game you're playing. Because I guarantee you, one of you is going to be confused about what the rules are. You know? I mean, and we split the tab too. I mean, come on. I've been living alone for a few months now, and it's okay so far, but it does get old after a while. There's a sickness you begin to develop if you're confined indoors for too long, especially during the winter. There is this movie where this family stays at this hotel and the husband begins to go crazy and tries to kill both of them. I have seen it once. I really do need a roommate because I am getting sick of doing this by myself, and a few nights ago I thought I was losing my mind. Like I kept seeing figures and hearing voices.
I was at Pleasant Valley one winter, and there's this tradition where all the boys would sneak over to the girls' cabins in the middle of the night and sing to them. We'd only get through a few lines, and then we would race back to our cabin before we get caught. And then they'd come and return the favor. And why we did that, I'm sure I don't know. But I filmed the whole thing. Kind of reminds me of the Blair Witch Project, because all it is a bunch of running in the dark with constant heavy breathing in night vision.
One of the girls I DM'd the other day says she doesn't do meetups. Okay. So let's imagine here for a second that I might actually want to meet somebody that doesn't live in my cell phone. And my chances are pretty slim as soon as I come across anyone's social media who could be a possible candidate. Might as well not even try. But what I should do is go off into the real world and find someone, just like the old times. It's like today we've all locked ourselves in a prison, but we've all chosen solitude. I've never appreciated heat until I've lived in a house that has a heater that operates whenever it wants to. When this thing malfunctions, you gotta figure out how you're about to survive, especially when it's 5 below outside. Shutting off 3 times a day doesn't exactly keep the house warm, and I don't do igloos. And with no heat means no hot water. I also don't do cold showers. So that's why I'm sitting here, waiting for it to click off so that I can unplug it, replug it back in, and then I'll wait for it to warm up, and then maybe I can enjoy some heat for the next few hours. I have a technician coming next week, but he has to be able to find the solution before he can fix the problem, which might take days, or weeks, or even months. Twitter generates a lot of pointless information. Should I wear blue eyeliner or red today? #AskTwitter. It matters. Just scrolling through my apps before I gotta go to bed. This is the reason why people of my generation don't get enough sleep. It's because we gotta see what everybody's up to. Glad to see that Kara changed her Twitter profile for the 3rd time today. I prefer Snapchat a little bit more because you can see how people's days are going. Or you can be ignored in 2 different ways. The thing that I hate more than being left on read is being left unanswered, while they continue to add on to their story, which I have no interest in watching. But I think I keep hearing things as soon as I put this away to go to bed. Maybe it's just my notifications that keep going off, and they keep waking me up. Either way, I'm getting concerned. Thought I heard the doorbell ring too a couple of nights ago. I'm not getting that. I remember one summer my brother and I were helping my dad do some yard work out in the front. And then we saw our neighbor selling lemonade for about 25 cents. At first I wondered, why is it so cheap? Until I took that first sip and that stuff tasted like straight up urine. But I guess you get what you pay for. When I was 13, I discovered that I actually had interest in becoming a filmmaker. Or at least just something to do with movies. Because when you're young and dumb, you have the biggest dreams you wish to fulfill. But then your perspective changes as you grow older. Now the world that you used to live in doesn't really fit you anymore. And it's not because you're bigger per se, it's because you've stopped expanding. Now people are so focused on themselves, and what I used to want to do may not fit society standards. Like kids are so focused on their self-image and making sure it's all polished and clean so that they can gain attention from their Instagram followers, and forget that the dream they used to have is sitting on a shelf somewhere collecting dust. When you're so focused on what you look like, nothing else is important. Not even what you used to want to do. So now, who I want to be when I grow up kind of turns into who I want to be when I glow up. One in every writer will develop writer's block in their lifetime. So I've come up with a solution to get rid of it. I take a hot shower. A shower is hands down the best place for me to be deep in thought. I mean, like all of the great stories that I've ever thought of, have been thought of right here. Yep, whenever I'm bored, or I need to relax, sweat out any frustration I might have. A few nights ago I tried to eat my dinner in here. Which was a horrible idea, I'll have to admit. I usually like a lukewarm temperature, but this one, it changes from scalding to freezing whenever it chooses to. And that's never enjoyable. But I have been lucky so far.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Movies about love try to make anyone get into their feelings. And it's especially directed toward the single crowd, letting them know it still exists. I don't really do romance films. But I would say The Notebook is up there, for sure. If I had to pick. And it's not because it was a great happy ending. It's because he challenged her, asking her, what does she want? And I like that. When a man makes a very logical decision and doesn't use his emotions, I can get behind that. Like in the movie Me Before You, he was like, this has been fun, but I would still love to end it here. Because he wanted her to have something more. I mean, isn't love a sacrifice, right? And don't get me wrong, I still believe in love. In high school, I didn't think I was really that popular. And I didn't really try. I just found people who brought out the best in me. Yeah. I didn't really try to find a seat at the popular table at lunchtime because I thought it was more important to thrive with the individuals who just enjoyed your company. Because isn't that like what high school's really about? It's finding yourself. Because you can't fit in if you were meant to stand out. Just a little philosophy I live by. But anyways, if you want to walk the halls smiling and greeting at everybody who passes you by, then great. Or you can plug into your phone and throw in some earbuds to drown out the noise. I did that, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm a 5 on the Enneagram. Google it. Anyways. In the halls of Federal Way High School, I met my longtime YouTube collaborator, Chris. From there, that pioneered the path that I took that made me become an aspiring filmmaker that I am today. And I've been able to work with a lot of people who share that same unique passion to create, basically. And I've been very blessed to be surrounded by people who have motivated me to continue my journey. And it's great. It is. But yet here I am talking to myself.